All right, so the first news that we have today is about Bluehole. They want to make it harder to cheat in Battlegrounds. The developer has announced that they'll soon be rolling out a new anti-cheat measure in the PC version of their Battle Royale shooter. They haven't said exactly how it will detect cheaters, but they say they're currently testing it and are gathering data about its stability. They add that some PCs might experience compatibility issues and crashes when they begin rolling it out. Cheating is obviously a problem in online games, especially one as popular as Battlegrounds. Earlier this week, Bluehole announced that they're cracking down on cheaters, with some estimates putting that number of banned players at more than 100,000. For comparison, the game has sold more than 20 million copies, so 100,000 is only about 0.5% of players, but that's still a lot of people. Bluehole also recently partnered with Chinese law enforcement agencies to arrest about 120 hackers allegedly involved in a cheating scheme in the country, so they're taking this pretty seriously. It's crazy, but you know, when you see a game that's this popular, of course people are going to try to, win at all costs. They have reputation on the line, they have prestige on the line, they have all of the new sort of loots and things that you can pick up as you get better and level up in games like this. We see it time and time again. It sucks. It sucks that people try to worm their way through the right way to play all of this stuff. But we spend so much of our lives in these virtual experiences that it's just going to be a part of it. There's no way to kind of avoid it. There's shady stuff that's going on in the real world, and there's shady stuff that's happening in the online world. Now, I've played a little bit more of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I can see the hook. I can see why it is so successful. It hasn't fully taken over me yet. I haven't been completely addicted to the experience, probably because I'm not that good. I'm still trying to figure it out. It is absolutely terrifying when you get discovered in that game. Super cool that it's been so successful and it continues to improve and it continues to bring in new people. This is definitely one of the biggest stories that we've seen in games in a long time. Another big story that's in games that's coming back, it's a new Dragon Age game that's officially on the way. Earlier today, BioWare's Mark Dara revealed on Twitter that a new Dragon Age game is currently in development. He says that the project is being developed at BioWare's head office in Edmonton alongside the new science fiction game Anthem, although we won't be seeing the new Dragon Age until Anthem is released. The last big Dragon Age, Inquisition, was released in 2015, but fans have a little bit of reason to be nervous here. BioWare famously dropped the ball with their recent Mass Effect Andromeda, so hopefully they've learned their lessons in time for the new Dragon Age and Anthem, for that matter. And yeah, Dragon Age Andromeda broke a lot of hearts, mine included. I have major faith in BioWare, though. Casey Hudson is back running things over there. There's just a core competency and a core group of passionate people that know what's at stake, know what happened, and they want to resolve all those issues. Anthem was a massive, buzz at E3 last year, and I expect that when the Dragon Age stuff is ready to kind of be revealed to us, it's going to look incredible. And, the depth that these guys and girls and people go to make these games incredible for us is astounding. The Dragon Age games in the past have been phenomenal. I loved Inquisition. I thought that was an incredible game. I can't wait to see what they've got for Dragon Age for us in the future. Now, players everywhere hate loot boxes. That's not news. But apparently, Ubisoft didn't get the memo. Or did they? Ubisoft has announced that their open-world shooter Ghost Recon Wildlands is getting loot boxes, but before you get angry, Ubisoft says that those loot boxes will only give players access to cosmetic items and will not give you anything that affects your actual character progression or how well you play. Other games with cosmetic-only loot boxes have avoided the pay-to-win controversy that has plagued many games, including Star Wars Battlefront 2, and as we all know, that game did things differently by having loot box rewards that could be used to improve your performance, which incurred the wrath of players everywhere. The cosmetic loot boxes that will hit Ghost Recon Wildlands in a new update are due out before the end of the month. Yeah, this loot box stuff is It's just a black cloud hanging over the video game industry. I think that anybody that's entering into the loot box space in the AAA, kind of category with games that cost so much money has got to tread very, very, very carefully. My thought on it is that you shouldn't have to educate your players on how to not get screwed. They shouldn't be thinking like that. They should just say, look, here's the price, here's the value, and you're just going to have a great time and you're going to want to keep staying. Now, if you're buying new content, if you're buying actual levels or characters or costumes or things that sort of, if you're paying for that, that's one thing. But the idea of dropping cash for maybe something's going to be awesome, it's really scary, and it's been so twisted and kind of broken already that it's going to be very hard, I think, in 2018 for publishers to drop that kind of information and not get roasted. And I expect that a lot of Ghost Recon Wildlands players are going to be, a little bit pissed off that this is happening at all. But we'll see. Time will tell. That game has been a big surprise. It's got a huge, huge following out there. Now we're going to move on to another Ubisoft story. Ubisoft has announced Sam. Now this is a voice-controlled personal gaming assistant similar to Siri, Alexa, and Cortana. It works on iOS and Android devices through the Ubisoft Club app and allows users to get information about the game that they're playing by speaking or typing commands into their phones. For example, if you're struggling in an online match, Sam can give you real-time tips about what you can do to play better. You can also use Sam to access your game library, chat with players, and explore other Ubisoft titles, which seems like a clever way for Ubisoft to sell you other games. Right now, Sam is only available in Canada, and it also only works in English, which seems ironic given that it was developed at the French-speaking Ubisoft Montreal office. A global launch will follow later this year. The spot that they put together around this is a little bit cheeseball. One of the things that kind of rubs me the wrong way right away is that the voice just doesn't sound contemporary. It doesn't sound like 2018 speech recognition robot voice. It sounds a little too, I am Sam, it is good to meet you. And I hope that Ubisoft is going to tweak that and make it a little clearer, a little cooler. And I worry so much about all of these notifications that we get in all of our lives. And we're just adding to that pile. All of these somewhat invasive technologies that are constantly pinging you with new things. Do this, do that, do that. This person wants to get you. Now, obviously, gaming is a huge social environment and people want to play together and they want to schedule things, and we are scattered across a multitude of apps. Every publisher out there is trying to lock in as many people as they can in their community, so it makes sense from a financial standpoint. I don't know personally how much I'm going to be using Sam. I'm certainly curious to test it out. It looks like another app in the gaming space that will be on my phone that I won't use that often right now, if I have to be honest. But when I can check it out, I definitely will, and I'll report back to you guys. Would love to hear what you guys think of Sam in the chat there as well. Now, we're going to move on to movies now. If it looks like a movie isn't good enough for theaters, Netflix will take it. Netflix reportedly wants to pick up the rights to the upcoming third film in the Cloverfield series. I was waiting for this. The movie was filmed back in 2016 and was originally slated to hit theaters next month, but distributor Paramount pulled it a few weeks ago with rumors that it wasn't up to snuff and needed post-production retooling. The Hollywood Reporter claims that Netflix is currently in talks with Paramount to instead release the film exclusively on the streaming service. Netflix and Paramount recently made a similar deal for the new science fiction movie Annihilation, due out next month. Now, this sounds like beggars can't be choosers kind of deal. This is like, all right, well, we'll just dump it over here. Paramount, I think it was Paramount, did something similar with The Little Prince, which was an incredible animated movie that we saw a couple of years ago, where it was supposed to get a U.S. release through them, and it didn't happen. And then Netflix, I think, became a big U.S. partner for that movie. And that was shocking because there was a lot of press and a lot of buzz, and then they just sort of stopped. And I guess this is the effect of the studios kind of looking at the cost to do the business of distributing these films to all these theaters and deciding, well, that cost, if we don't spend that, we can. It's basically earned revenue for us if we don't spend that outlay. If we don't expect the either the word of mouth or the critical reception to be positive, or if that many viewers are going to go and actually physically visit a theater, they're going to hold that back. And Netflix is like the perfect alternative. This doesn't bode well for this third Cloverfield movie. If it's not coming to theaters, it feels like, well, it's probably not that great. But I love the last one. What was that? What was the last one called, Blake? 10 Cloverfield Lane. That was awesome, and that was by one of the Totally Rad guys, Danny, and that was fantastic. He directed it. It was fantastic. I really love that movie. So maybe we'll be surprised, and maybe this third Cloverfield movie will be cool. I love the first one as well, too. I thought that was so imaginative. So we'll see. It's clearly Netflix is saying, we can own more of this space if you work with us. Join me, and together we will rule the galaxy. Netflix's Darth Vader. You heard it right here. The new Avengers video game is sounding better and better. Square Enix has announced that their new AAA game based on the Marvel property has recruited two of the game industry's top talents. Uncharted Lost Legacy creative director Sean Eskeg, who recently left Naughty Dog, and Dead Space producer Stephen Barry, formerly of the now closed Visceral Games. On the new Avengers game, they'll serve as creative director and director of production, respectively. And Square Enix has announced that the project, they announced it more than a year ago, but with the exception of a short teaser video, we really don't know anything about this thing. We haven't seen any footage. We haven't even seen the title. We don't know if it's connected to the movies, and we don't know when it's coming out. Now, I've started to bug Marvel, because I know some people over at Marvel and in the games department, and I'm waiting for this with bated breath. I've been watching all these fantastic Marvel movies come out, going, well, is there going to be a game? Are you guys gonna? You've done 20 of these movies. Is there a game coming? And we've seen the Lego ones, just like boom, boom, pew, pew. They keep coming out with good ones. But it's time for a AAA experience. And I feel like Spider-Man, which we're going to be talking about probably every day, until it comes out and probably every day after it comes out, is sort of opening the idea that AAA for Marvel properties is going to happen. So I'm excited about this. I love Crystal Dynamics. Little side note, little side story here. Crystal Dynamics used to be a publisher in the 90s. They were the first company that sent Electric Playground a review copy. They sent us Samurai Showdown 3 for the 3DO system, and it was awesome. I sent them an email. Hi, yeah, we just started. We've got a website. We're going to be a TV show one day. Will you send us a copy of your game? And they sent it, and we reviewed it. And I've loved them ever since, but I've loved them every time I've gone to go visit them. They're just a passionate group of game developers. Amy Hennig was there, and she brings back fond memories. I am so psyched to see, and of course I've loved what they've done recently with Tomb Raider, so psyched though to see what they've got cooking for Avengers, and I hope that's not the end. I hope it's not all like, this has to make mega millions of dollars and then we can, get other Marvel games out there. I hope it's not like that. I hope they have the Avengers, then they've got a new Captain America, then they've got a new Thor for us, a new Iron Man. Like, I really hope that there's a plan here, and I'll be bugging the Marvel Games people on EP Live when they'll talk to me. But I'll keep pinging them, okay? And we'll find out more about this Avengers video game. Are you guys excited about this? We can chat about that a little bit later in the show. We've got Let's Play and Chat today, and since we started talking about loot boxes, and since I still kind of love the game, I still love playing it, it's Star Wars Battlefront 2 today. So you guys can tell me in the chat how much you hate Star Wars Battlefront 2 later on in the show. But right now, we are going to take a look at this day in everything cool.